Hello, how are you all doing today? Welcome along to this reading. I have decided to tap into the full moon energy today. While the moon isn't out here at the moment in these stolen occupied lands, it will be big later. So, but the full moon energy is still buzzing around. So, I have pulled out 3 oracle decks that all incorporate the moon. We've got the Moonology oracle cards. We've got Earthly Souls and Spirits Moon oracle. We have got the Soul Whispers oracle from Dreamy Moons. And we have got the Wandering Moons tarot. So not sure what's going to come out, but I am feeling like some really positive energy today. Some kind of movement in the energy, like not a stagnancy, not a but a flow. There's a flow in the movement of the energy today. That could mean many things for many of you. But it's always good to work with the energy that's around, because unless it's like that really shitty colonizer energy, we resist that. But the universal energy, the energy that comes from the earth, from the moon, from the stars, from the sky, from the planets, you know, that's the stuff that we work with, not the really heavy 3D violent energy that is circulating. Can't avoid it, but it can't be the center of my life anymore. Sometimes I feel like the more I center that energy, I'm just sending energy to that energy, and I'm just like, leave that for my social media where I can be ranty, shouty sins. So, all right. So first deck we're going to pull oracle cards from is the Moonology one. So let's see what bottom of the deck energy is for us today. I have cleansed the cards. I have gotten old energy out of them. I've cleansed my space. I've had a shower. It's going to be fresh. So time to give rather than take. And maybe that's the flow I'm feeling, that people are finally starting to see that it's not about take, but it's about the reciprocity, that sometimes we take and sometimes we give, and it has to balance out. We can't just be takers and we can't just be givers. We need to find a balance in that, right? Step out of your comfort zone. That's where your life is waiting for you, outside of your comfort zone. Whatever life it is that you envision for yourself, whatever life it is that you were told when you were little, don't be so silly. That's not the direction you are moving because we have decided. And what do you need to release? So have a think about that. What might you need to release at the moment that you can capitalize on this, you know, flowy, non-stagnant energy that I'm feeling? You know, full moons are about harvesting. So what are you releasing so that you can harvest this new, you know? Although I'm pretty sure it's the you've got your new moon to set intentions, and then the first quarter moon, is it to release? I don't know, something like that. And conclusions are within reach. So maybe you've been wondering about some things. Maybe you've made some conclusions about things. I don't know. We all do it. And maybe you're about to see those things come to fruition. Once you step out of that comfort zone. Also, I want you to think about, what is your comfort zone and why is it your comfort zone? Is it a healthy comfort zone? Is it a maladaptive comfort zone? Or is it a comfort zone that helps you become the highest version of yourself? It's a space that you can go back into to recuperate, to recharge. But is your comfort zone holding you back from achieving all the things that you were put here to achieve? But while you're thinking about achievements, do you consider your achievements that aren't praised by the colony? I don't know, like brushing your teeth each day. I don't know, maybe that's a little goal that you've set for yourself. Or having a shower, or trying to get a routine around bedtime, or remembering to take your medication, or I don't know, these are all achievements. All right. We have communication is key. If there's anything I've learned in my years of activism, it's that different people respond differently to different types of communication. What will work with one group of people won't work with another. But I think the key with communication is always speaking your truth. I know some of us autists get accused of being too blunt when we speak our truth. Hi. Those of us that are very passionate, that have a lot of fervour, you know, our passion, fervour. There are people out there that misidentify that as aggression, rage, those kinds of things. And hi, rage is also a really sacred thing. So sometimes rage comes in via communication. And there are things in this world that we should be feeling that very deep rage about. And that deep rage, don't confuse it for a negative energy. It is actually fueled by the deep love that we have for humanity. So don't be shaming the rage, all right? But try to always communicate from a place of truth, honesty, from your heart space. You're not always going to do it perfectly, and that's okay, because guess what? You're human. And I know I don't do it perfectly, and I know it's something that I've really needed to work on. I've really needed to break out of some ways that I learned to survive. So I think when it comes to your interpersonal relationships, connections with other people, I think it's really good to learn each other's communication style and the type of communication style that's needed to build good foundations in our connections, you know? And part of communication is developing good listening skills as well. So making sure that we're not listening to respond, but listening to understand. Not listening to defend ourselves, but listening to understand, you know? You're not understanding clearly if your brain is already preparing what it is you are going to say in reply without processing what has been said to you, you know? So, and it's actually something I'm really learning about myself. Like, I have AuDHD, so impulsivity is a thing, right? And my first impulsive thoughts to say, generally, if I'm given some time, I can build on those thoughts into a more productive way. But, you know, I don't always give myself that space. I haven't. I'm doing better these days, but I haven't always given myself and the people that I'm communicating with that space, you know. So, next one. Emotions are running high, supermoon, and it is a supermoon today, so expect that those emotions are going to be running high. Pretty sure it's full moon in Aries or Taurus or something. But actually, let's first, before we get into the book for the cards we've pulled, let's go and see what it says about the full moon in Taurus. Okay, so the full moon in Taurus represents your plans needing practicality, but also needing magic. So, being a supermoon as well, we are going to experience a lot of that heightened energy of around Taurus energy. And it says trust that there's going to be success. When emotions are running high, it's important to ground yourself. Find that balance within. And Taurus being an earth sign really brings that grounding energy, the necessity of that grounding energy in. If the moon has the power to affect the tides, the moon has the power to affect us, because we are made up of so much water. So don't think that if it can affect such large bodies of water as the oceans, that it can't affect us, is a really important point to make. Know that being that it is a supermoon, we have a full supermoon, and those energies are going to be amplified, and it's going to be important for us to allow that energy to keep flowing, not get stuck and create emotional blocks, but keep flowing, keep working with it. Listen to your body as the energy moves through it. It will affect all of us a little bit differently depending on where our placements are in our birth charts. Taurus is where my Chiron sits, but actually in sidereal it sits in Aries. So I don't know, for me, I am observing. I'm observing me today, observing the flow of the energy, the flow of the emotions, the flow of the thinking, the flow of the intuition, the flow and remember, if those emotions do kind of peak, we don't judge them. We don't judge them. We recognize that they're there. We acknowledge why they're there. We investigate their existence, how they came to be. And then we nurture those parts of ourselves, you know? I was terrible at judging my emotions at this time last year. Terrible. Feeling too much, not enough. Judging how badly I cried. Like I was crying. I spent years like just crying a lot. And the more I learn about that, the more I learn my body was naturally releasing stress to keep my cortisol levels low. And I was judging my body doing that for me, you know, like, hi, Sin. Like, you know. And learning to communicate our emotions, because sometimes it's really hard to put into words these feelings, you know, especially, you know, when you are neurodivergent, and identification of emotion is a tricky thing, right? And then feeling emotions you've never felt before. How do you describe something that you've never experienced before? You know, like, So I think, like, oh, sorry, getting dead legs. I need to get myself like a cushion or something, but you know, that's a story for another day. So I think through this full moon energy, we are going to be focusing on how we communicate our emotions while they are running high. Let's just pull one more card, and then I will pull some messages. We might do some tarot, and then I'll pull some final messages from the last two oracle decks. Believe in the impossible. It's a message I've been getting a lot. Believe in the impossible. And I don't know why it's been such a hard thing for me to kind of trust in when, like, honestly, I look back 10 years ago and I was like, no, I'm fucked. I'm done. I'm just done. My brain's not recovering from this. I'm not recovering from this. This is my lot in life, and I am just stuck the fuck here. And now I look at how far my healing has come, and this is something I thought was impossible at some stage. So, you know, stuff I thought was impossible was actually possible. And believe in magic. Comes back into that full moon in Taurus, is be practical, but be magical as well, you know? It's healthy to dream, and it's healthy to believe in the things that we cannot see. And sometimes we just have to trust in the process of things, you know? All right, let me see what extra info the book has around this new moon in Gemini. Okay, so this card signifies that there's a new cycle of communication beginning. Maybe that's something that you're harvesting with this full moon. Talking things through. If there's something that you want to say to another person, but it's not possible for you to say to them, journal it. It might be possible to say it at a later date, you know? You know, this card also indicates that maybe you've been a little bit too frivolous lately, and it's time to, you know, get grounded again. But it's really highlighting the need to communicate. So, additional meanings for this card. Time to tell someone how you feel, which then ties into emotions are running high, and me saying, like, I'm feeling like this is about, you know, communicating emotions. Don't be all in your head and not in your heart at all. But don't be all in your heart and not using that balance between, you know. And Gemini is also the house that Mercury rules. And we are currently in the pre-retrograde shadow period, where communication can be affected. Our communication devices can be affected. So be patient. Emotions might run high because of that. You might feel frustrated when your phone's not doing what you want it to do, or words aren't coming out how you want them to come out, or... So just know that that energy is around too with the shadow period of the Mercury retrograde. I think I looked at the supermoon card already, and it talked about the emotions that are heightened during supermoons, which we're experiencing at the moment. And that it's time to start believing in what you thought was impossible. All right? Trusting in it. All right, let's split the deck. We have got Justice. Balancing of the scales. Maybe there's been a point that there's been a bit of stagnancy on, and there's going to be justice entering the equation to nut things out, to work things out, to find balance. But we'll see. Two of Swords. Fucking hate that card. I was only saying on my socials the other day, fucking Two of Swords. Someone needs to make a tarot deck where those two swords are decapitating the fucking head. Like, you're going to spend that much time in your head not refusing to see. Do you even deserve your head? No. But yeah, that Two of Swords. Five of Stars. That is... I think Pentacles. Oh, I get really confused when the decks don't use the... Well, it's not Swords, it's Pentacles or it's Cups. God, I wish I had a better memory. It is Pentacles. So, Five of Pentacles, Five of Stars is a bit of a feeling left out in the cold kind of thing. Maybe you're feeling a little bit on the outer with something, but I'm feeling that there's a positive flow coming in, so... My feelings could be lying. I mean... Ugh, when the card that flies out is the Three of Swords. Ooh. Heartbreak. The Two of Stars, Two of Pentacles, balance again. Juggling too many things. See what the cards have to say about this full moon energy today for the collective. What kinds of things should the collective be focusing on while this full moon energy is buzzing around? Ace of Swords. So that's come out underneath the communication key. So clarity. Speaking with clarity, communicating with clarity, cutting out any of the bullshit and just getting through to the truth, communicating the truth. So just try and stay in that Ace of Swords kind of energy today with your communication. Just cutting through the unnecessary. And focusing on what is clear and concise and honest and truth-telling. Emotions are running high. We've got Temperance. Again, Temperance talks about patience, divine timing, finding balance within yourself. So what I'm getting is finding balance with your emotions as you move through this full moon, super moon energy. And tapping into that Temperance archetypal type energy. And remembering that our manifestations, our dreams that we are trying to make reality always happen in the way the universe sees best for us, right? When it comes to them believing, us as the collective believing in the impossible, what is the advice, Tarot? All right, we've dropped some cards. Let's put them back in. The Empress. All right. Tower's on the bottom. And I'm wondering, like, has there been a Tower moment recently, or maybe in your life that has made you realize your worth? Something that you thought was impossible. The Empress is a very nurturing, fruitful type of energy. And I'm really getting that those things you believe are impossible, start nurturing those ideas. Hold them really gently in your hands. I'm like looking at the image on here with the flower sitting gently between the palms. You know, those hands gently holding the flower and those swirls of magic behind, you know? Believe in the impossible and hold it. Nurture it. I don't know, I feel like I need to pull one more card. We got two. Okay, final advice from the tarot is we got the King of Moons, which is the King of King of Cups, and the High Priestess. So it's about intuitively moving through these emotions, these high emotions that are coming up from the full moon. Learning to express them in healthy ways and trusting in that inner guidance that you're getting, you know. All right, sorry, having a bit of a freeze moment there. Let me get out some more oracles to close it out. Let's start with these oracles. We'll get one out of this deck, one out of the other one, and then we'll close the reading out. Blossom. Breathe. Love. Manifest. Got one card fall out. Harmony, which I think really ties in really nicely with practicing communication while our emotions are running high, trying to find harmony in our connections, in our day, in working through this energy. And being mindful. So yeah, just take some time to find that inner peace, that inner harmony, so that you're not bringing that disharmony into communications it doesn't need to be in, right? And I say that it doesn't need to be in because there are some times that you do have to communicate with people that are that you have connections with, and it's not harmonious because stuff isn't harmonious. And yeah. And a final message from the Soul Whispers Oracle deck from Dreamy Moons. It's a reminder on the bottom. We are all one, love all creatures, for we are all share the same life force. And we do. And it's weird because I was only talking about that on my threads yesterday, the disconnect between us as humans and the way, like, white supremacy, for example, seeks to separate us from other animals, and we are animals, and that is a scientific fact. And if you're someone that believes in reincarnation, you're not guaranteed to come back as a human, right? That part of our lesson learning for our soul is the lessons that we need to learn as non-humans as well. And so oneness isn't just about with other humans, it's about all living things, even the living, breathing planet, yeah? First split was connect with your soul family. Second split is open your heart to the magic around you. Believe in the impossible. Magic is around us all the time, and we've been so conditioned to disregard it, and it's been categorized as, you know, insanity and all this kind of stuff, and as a novelty and something we only see at a carnival. But it's in our day every single day. So the message: follow the path of least resistance, which I think is a lovely message because, as I was saying, flow with the energy at the moment. Flow with it. Try not to resist it. We only resist that heavy 3D colonial white supremacist energy, okay? We don't resist the energies that come from the planet, from the universe, from the natural world, you know. They've been here to guide us for time immemorial, and where the world is now is a great signifier of why destroying that connection has been detrimental to us as a species, to every other species here, to every other species that's no longer here, to the lands that are being destroyed, the waterways that are being destroyed, the great garbage patches in the middle of the ocean, all of those things, you know. But I'll read out what the book says about this card. Dear human, when you feel stuck, listen carefully. The path of least resistance doesn't mean the easy path. It means that there is an energetic pull and attraction to a certain decision. Watch the way your energy changes when you need to make a choice. Flow with that pull like a river, for resisting the flow will only waste your energy. Anyway, that's a nice spot to finish this reading at. I hope you all enjoy the full moon, and I'll see you next time.